I am going to create a new special deportation task force focused on identifying and quickly removing the most dangerous criminal illegal immigrants in America who have evaded justice. Anyone who illegally crosses the border will be detained until they are removed out of our country and back to the country from which they came. People will know that you can't just smuggle in, hunker down, and wait to be legalized.
The line last week, you were softening on immigration, then you come out with a very specific, very pro-enforcement plan last night. Well, where's the softening?
Oh, there's softening. Look, we do it in a very humane way, and we're going to see with the people that are in the country. Obviously, I want to get the gang members out, the drug peddlers out. I want to get the drug dealers out. We get a lot of people in this country that you can't have, and those people will get out. And then we're going to make a decision at a later date once everything is stabilized. I think you're going to see there's really quite a bit of softening.
Okay, I'm going to say something because it's not going to surprise you. I'm so confused.
You are?
That's not going to surprise you. I'm so confused. Chuck Todd, is Chuck Todd confused?
Well, I was going to introduce him right now.
But he's right there, so why we don't have to introduce Chris? Hi, Chuck. Chuck, we're confused. Softening, hardening. What's he doing? I'm so confused.
Sounds like a commercial that I tell my kids to leave the room.
Exactly.
And apparently, if your position lasts more than 4 hours, you better change it.
Consult a physician.
Consult a consultant.
It is the top of the hour. It is 1 minute into the hour.
I'm sorry. No, it's the truth. I think that's the tweet of the day yesterday. If your position hardens for more than 4 hours, call a physician. Because he changes his position like every 3
But don't call Donald Trump's physician, because
that guy's cool.
Wow.
I like him. I want to go to
a teddy bear.
I want to go to like a Pink Floyd concert with that guy.
No, I don't.
With his doctor, Trump's doctor?
No.
Yeah,
no.
Man.
Log on to his website and you'll see why.
Like the dude from, do you remember the movie Cannonball Run?
Yeah.
They had a crazy doctor that would, like, I guess they were going to, it was such a great bad movie, Dom DeLuise, but
yeah,
that's what that doctor looks like.
That's what this
It's like
kind of crazy guy.
A great bad conversation.
And he has the same medical advice no matter what problem you have to him. He goes like, dude, listen to the color of your dreams. It's just like, I don't know. That's not going to help me with a goiter. But that's a weird dude. So, Chuck, what's Donald Trump doing? Please let us know.
I don't know anymore. I mean, what was the point of taking 10 days, painfully setting yourself up in a clumsy way, but you set yourself up to essentially soften up a little bit, roll things back, try to make a new appeal. Again, it was a little clumsy, but it was right there. And
if you push Joe, sometimes really smart things come out of his mouth, and in the last hour,
you
nailed it. Yeah, it
takes
did.
a while.
It took about 18
smart things
minutes
come out of my mouth.
because you all were strategizing and analyzing, and finally, he said it, and that is that he's going for the laugh line. He's going for the applause. He's going with the moment.
He does not
care.
So drunk on the applause.
But I think one of the problems, not just in terms of that sort of split screen that we saw, what he said in Mexico, what he said in Arizona, and then everything in between, the fact that he didn't bring up kind of his signature piece of his immigration plan, the wall, when he met with the president of Mexico, and now the Clinton campaign today out with a new ad, hitting him very hard on that, a new web ad, and I think it just all gives him an opening. By the way, Hillary Clinton hasn't been on the campaign trail, and I think that's a challenge for her. So she's going to have to come back strong after Labor Day.
I'm not sure. I think she can let this play out.
And I think that's a strategy,
and let him roll around in his own mess.
Well, exactly.
Here's what he said last night. I think after being all hard on immigration, this happened.
But then he went Laura Ingraham, and Laura pushed him a bit, which we just heard.
Right.
And Laura actually was the first one to get him to go back to the softening position, and then he went on O'Reilly last night. I think
different audience.
Eric was on.
Different host. Different Donald Trump. Oh, yeah. Take a look.
We're going to get rid of all of the bad players that are here, the gang members, the gang leaders, the drug dealers. After that takes place, which will be a process, and it won't go that quickly, but it's going to go as quickly as any human being can do it. After that takes place, we're going to sit back, we're going to assess the situation, we're going to see where we are, because we'll have people in the country that that have come in illegally. We're going to sit back, we're going to assess the situation, we're going to make a decision at that time.
I think Ron Fournier, that position is softer than Barack Obama's, who's been far more aggressive in deporting illegal immigrants in this country. To just say, if you're committing crimes, we're going to deport you, but everybody else, we can just kind of sit back.
Right, he's to the left of Barack Obama, no doubt. Look, this is a man whose whole career has only cared about ratings, money, and affirmation. In the political campaign, the affirmation is polls. So this is a guy with no core. And you're right, we saw it in Mexico when he didn't even have the guts. Now, we use a different phrase if I wasn't on TV, to look the president of Mexico in the eyes and say, I'm going to make you, that's what I was going to do. I can't pronounce that word.
You can't, fortitude.
You're going to pay for that wall. And then he came out and lied about that conversation and it was outed in a tweet by the Mexican president, as you noted earlier, I think it was you or Eugene, that tweet prompted him then to go harder on immigration. That just as Hillary Clinton warned in the convention, he was baited by a tweet.
And here's Hillary Clinton's ad, by the way, that she has out today.
Who's going to pay for the wall? Who? We did discuss the wall. We didn't discuss payment of the wall.
Y fui muy claro y enfático en que México no pagará tal monto.
That's pretty powerful.
It's the question everybody.
Again, you know, Donald Trump writes the narrative for the opposition. He gives them the opening to frame it in a commercial, to frame it
every hour of every day. He does something that gives them this.
Finding that consistency when you're torn between a base that you have gotten to, that riled up state, and the rest of the country that is waiting for you to, okay, so show us what you got to be president. They still have not figured that part of the formulation out yet.
Trump was still handed a gift when, you know, everybody's taking Trump's word on this. Peña Nieto's word on this. He didn't say anything about the wall either. He didn't contradict Trump at that point. And so, in fairness to Trump, we don't know what happened behind closed doors, and it's in Peña Nieto's best interest to suddenly now say, oh, no, I told him. But
no fairness to Trump. We have no reason to believe anything about Trump.
Because Trump has lied to us too many times, and the story's not. But let's not assume Peña Nieto's telling us the full story here, because when that guy had his chance, and he said he was going to, what did he do? Nothing.
Well, and the people of Mexico, by the way, are not pleased about how that went. And the fact that he didn't confront Donald Trump and that his language was so soft when the two of them stood there at that podium together. And I thought what was so fascinating about that moment, for a short period, it was actually Donald Trump's most presidential moment until he came back and kind of flip-flopped. And it fits into the crux of Hillary Clinton's argument against him, which is that he fails the commander-in-chief test, which is the point that she made when she was out on the trail this week.
One thing in one country, 4 hours later, say another thing in another country. You contradict yourself in 4 hours.
You're done the world. And there you go. The position doesn't hold more.
4 hours,
So, Chuck, I've been asking this question this morning, and I'm curious what your thought is. Labor Day, the traditional starting point of campaign.
Labor Day 3 years ago, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. So as we get into the Labor Day
2020 presidential campaign,
so many people have already discounted Donald Trump. This race is over. I don't. I think, and you know, Michael's with me. I think right now, but for a lot of reasons, this race is a jump ball as it starts. What do you think?
Look, number one, bounce is gone. Okay, everybody can agree. That's hard stop, right? Democratic bounce is gone. But if you notice the number that's moved and the number that hasn't moved, it's her number that moves. Her number is the one that moved here. His number is
38.
That's right, and it's not budging. Now, if you're Trump, you can make this a jump ball. I don't believe it's a jump ball right now. If he can't move his number, he can't win with 38 or 39 unless you make 38 or 39 a winning number, and you suddenly start propping up Gary Johnson, and you get Gary Johnson in the debates. The most fluid number this month has been Hillary's, not Trump's. So if you were trying to do strategery, if you were Trump, you would be pushing for Johnson in the debates, pushing for a three-way, because you need to make 38%.
I want to really quickly, a lot of people, and more people listening to us in the car when they're driving around. We're showing a poll right now, USA Today, Suffolk poll, Hillary Clinton 42%, Donald Trump way down at 35%, Gary Johnson at 9%, Jill Stein at 4%, and Kristen Welker, if I'm on the Clinton campaign, I'm in a bit of a panic that a lot of these polls are showing the race like almost, not that one, but others that have come out almost within the margin of error, and the guy you're running against is sitting at 38%.
Right. Well, and so I should say I've been talking to them about the polls for months, but remember when she had that big double-digit lead, and the discussion was it's not going to stay.
Right.
There's no way it's going to stay at this point. So I think to some extent they were prepared for it to get more narrow. But back to my initial point, I think that's when you get a little jittery about her being off the campaign trail. To some extent, and you're right, it's allowed sort of some of these negative headlines to fester. But Democrats feel like she's got to get back in the game now very aggressively after Labor Day. And one more point, I think tactically, when you look at the ground game, I heard you guys talking about this earlier, she has 288 offices open in 15 different states. Donald Trump doesn't even have 100. A handful. Well, so I think that strategically is a challenge.
What did Liz report yesterday in the Fix? Is there one Florida office?
One Florida office. So we have the criticism that Hillary Clinton has been getting for not holding press conferences. Word now that she will start traveling in a plane with the press starting on Monday. So that will counter that criticism. I don't think Trump does that.
No, he does not. Staggering, Ron Fournier, that USA Today poll has Donald Trump sitting at 35%. And the race is still competitive.
Yeah, look, I told you.
35%.
I do think the race right now is lean Hillary Clinton, but that does not mean in an era of when voters are desperate for change that this race is over. She can still lose it. And I think
agree.
Chuck hit on the big point here. Voters don't like either one of these candidates. They're looking to peel away. So if I'm Trump, I'm demanding that Johnson and even Stein get in these debates. Actually, I think I just go with the one. And I'm doing everything I can to prop up one of them so that at the end of the day, you have 15, maybe 20% of the people voting for a third-party candidate.
And you can
probably
win.
the best way you can win.
Like Bill Clinton, you can win with 43% of the vote.
I was going to ask Judge, have you been hearing any movement about the campaign sort of, hey, you know.
In fact, just the opposite.
Gary,
you talk to a bunch of people in Trump world, and they want a binary. No, and you talk to the RNC, they still want the binary. They still want the binary choice.
Well, got what, 19%?
And you sit here and you're like, he can't get to 46, let alone 43 or 44. So it's like you got to change. You got to sort of change tack.
You have to do something.
You got to do something.